Yeah, Axel, welcome back to King Axel's Music Lounge. We have done a couple of songs so far. So far, I have posted November Rain, um, Lowest Point, and Shadows of the Night. So today we are revisiting another track of mine that I know because I haven't gotten any requests and I'm not sure exactly what musical direction I want to go down quite yet. So far, I'm just gonna touch on stuff that I already know. Um, that's alright. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So this one we're gonna do Estranged. So this is like part three of the trilogy. I'm kind of doing them out of order. Um, this song is another long ballad, just like November Rain. Um, but it's one of those I think you just gotta watch it to be able to make sense of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
When you're talking to yourself and nobody's home, you can't fool yourself. You came in this world alone.
That's a really cool light right there.
So nobody ever told you, baby, how it was gonna be. So what'll happen to you, baby? Guess we'll have to wait and see.
So just a second there, let me go back. If you remember,
What'll happen to you, baby?
in the November Rain video, he was wearing that same blue. So I wonder if that has if what this in particular represents, if that's his son. I know that I think Stephanie Seymour, who was Axel's next girlfriend after the divorce with Aaron Everly, had a child. Um and I think Axel was caring for him as if it was someone's son. So maybe that's what this particular scene is representing.
Guess we'll have to wait and
It's crazy how soft that he's singing right here. We're used to really high pitched, shrieking Axel, or even in November Rain or Don't Cry. It's much deeper, but it's a much more richer, fuller tone. And this one is very almost shaky.
but it's getting much too late to find ourselves so far apart. I don't know how you're supposed to find it lately. And what more could you ask for me? I'm gonna say that I'll never leave.
I'm wearing my headphones on the wrong side because it's actually panned on the left. So it's actually panned on the right, but I was hearing it in my left, so. Um, I also really like Slash's lead guitar because, well, not during the instrumental breaks, but I'm talking about underneath the verses. If you follow it along, it's kind of singing its own melody, and I always thought that was pretty cool.
When you took everything, said you just
hear that too much nowadays. At least I haven't come across it in modern music where parts of a song are specifically in one headphone. I mean, we listen through speakers and stereo systems and stuff so much that I don't know if it really makes a difference in today's day and age, but at least with headphones, I feel like that's a relic of old times. Charles Manson's shirt. And his classic Axel tennies. Pause it right there. So far, what this song speaks to me, it's very much about, to me, processing. Um, and kind of a state of acceptance or wanting to accept and kind of being on the right track, but just not quite there yet. But we're past the event. And I don't mean just within the Guns N' Roses story here. I mean, if we could relate this to our own personal lives, I think this song represents a state of like, well, this is it. I mean, I've mourned, I've grieved, I've cried, or whatever need be because of the situation. And I know I need to motivate myself. I'm not quite there yet, but I think I'm on my way. That's kind of how this feels to me. I think it talks about loneliness a lot, um, and isolation, withdrawal. On the keyboards, Mr. Dizzy Reed. Seeing how it's showing all these definitions of Estranged, um, obviously that's the name of the song, so it's going to represent isolation. Maybe it also is a state of you're so isolated you don't even know if anyone can help you, you don't even know where to begin. Deep purple, I think that's what that shirt represents. It's interesting how everything is white. I never understood that, even to this day. I don't know why everything is white. Maybe it's representing heaven? He doesn't look very happy to be in heaven, which is what leads me to believe that's not the case, but that's... I don't know. Giant jumbo jet. Oh, Duff is looking rough. He is just a couple of years away from almost certain death. barely survived.
When I find all of the reasons, maybe I'll find another way, find another day.
Actually, I gotta go back. I just want to point out that this line that is coming up, this next little verse, is probably, no, I'm not going to say my favorite of all time, but it's definitely a top five. I don't know why. It's very simple, but it's just so true to the point. So I really, really love these lyrics.
When I find all of the reasons, maybe I'll find another way, find another day. With all the changing seasons of my life, maybe I'll get it right next time.
I doubt it.
And now that you've been broken down, got your head out of the clouds, you're back down on the ground, and you don't talk so loud, and you don't walk so proud anymore.
So I'm gonna pause it because the solo is coming up, and I don't want to pause during the solo. But I also really like how this scene is kind of a throwback to the November Rain video, even with the Rainbow Bar and Grill right there. Remember I paused it during that scene and I was like, I really like this, and he's just kind of walking by himself. This represents the exact same thing for me. It's a little more well lit, but it's a sense of I'm still doing the same thing because I don't know what else to do. I just need to process everything. Um, I'm gonna go back a little bit, but I really like the vibrato in his voice. Loud, proud. I really like that as well.
And you don't talk so loud, and you don't walk so proud anymore. And what for? Well, I jumped into the river too many times to make it home. I'm out here on my own, drifting all alone. If it doesn't show, give it time to read between the lines.
So, right before he jumps off this aircraft carrier, which cost, I have no idea how much it cost, but this I think was even more expensive than the November Rain video, which November Rain came first, making this the then most expensive video at the time, if I remember correctly. I also would love to know how they how they did the slash shot right there. I don't know if it was like a little train with tracks that he stood on, or if it was like a conveyor belt of sorts and just kind of moving along some sort of trolley. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. It's cool to go back into 1991 and think of all the ways that they shot these things, even in movies as well. Um, You know, I really feel that this camera kind of stands up even today. I mean, okay, it's not 4K, but um, it's still really clear, surprisingly. doesn't have a heavy break. So obviously they put this in there because they had to do something to beat the November Rain. This actually kind of reminds me of the Cars It's Magic video when he's standing, I think it's on a glass table or something like that. It's supposed to signify magic because he can walk on water. So that's kind of what this reminds me of too.
I'll never find anyone to replace you. Guess I'll have to make it through this time. Oh, this time without you. I knew the storm was getting closer, and all my friends said I was high. But everything we've ever known still, I never wanted it to
Oh yeah, he did drop his ship. Interesting. So yeah, that was Estranged. I really like also the rhythm section, paying attention to Slash's power chords behind that second chorus, I guess we can call it. Um, I really enjoy. Even if you take Axel's vocals out of the song, I think musically it's just really well put together all the way through. There's a lot in that video. I mean, we've got dolphins, we've got aircraft killers, we got suicide attempt, we got the freaking Coast Guard coming out to save him, we got huge a jumbo jet, we got a huge stadium that they're playing at. So, there's a lot that's going into that. And I think Axel was expressing a lot of what he was going through. And I know I'm talking about Axel a lot. I bet all of them. It was weighing on everybody. So, couple that with the drug addictions that they were doing, with all the relationships, with the horrible media coverage that they were getting for being the notorious and the most dangerous band on the planet. Um, they were constantly late for shows, which made them, a lot of their peers like Metallica and them hate them. So they have all of this negative attention too. Um, and so I think this is their way of expressing themselves, like, hey, we're fucking stressed the hell out. So, anyways, that is Estranged. That is part three of the trilogy. I'll go back and do Don't Cry. Maybe I'll do them back to back even. But I think it's just as profound as November Rain. And I wish that it had charted. It would have been really cool to look back and be like, oh wow, Estranged did just as well as November Rain, and it's just as strong as Sweet Child of Mine and the other songs that everybody knows well. I think this one flies under the radar a lot. I don't think a lot of GNR fans know this song for sure, but a lot of people who don't really know music from this time, but maybe know the hits like Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle, will overlook this. So, anyways, that's Estranged. I appreciate you guys coming, checking out the channel. I'll have more to come. Thanks, guys.